Okay, so we're going to go through the most viewed YouTube videos of all time. The ones that hit number one. There's ones with way more views than a lot of these videos that never hit number one. I'm not going to include them. Um, First off, Me at the Zoo by Javed. Being the first video by default, it was number one. Oh, the charts did not exist yet. So, but it was number one. It was number one in a way. Schmitty was one of 3 people to create YouTube. He replaced the thumbnail like this, and that's just pretty awesome. Like, that's actually better than the video itself, is the thumbnail. Anyway, Under the Bridge, also by Javed. This is the second one to be the most viewed. It's kind of interesting. It is a like Red Baron type plane flying under a bridge. I think it does a barrel roll. I don't know. It seems like something that should be on Facebook or something. That should be like an Instagram story. It's just like a clip of something he saw on his vacation. I wonder how much they had thought about like what YouTube would be for. You know, because it's social media, but it's not. If it was social media, it would be stuff like Under the Bridge, and it's not. Money Get Away. I actually cannot find this video by like I can see it through Darius Makes Content, who covered a lot of the kind of stats and things of, you know, how long they were on the throne, things like this, and cataloged them in a playlist that I'll link below. Money Get Away is a guy doing like quarters or like bar tricks, something. You know, rolls the quarters into shot glasses, flips them into shot glasses. It's interesting. Like, he's showcasing a talent. And I wish YouTube was more stuff like this. You know, I think it was more people that have a little showmanship. You know, they have a little something to bring to the table. Because a lot of YouTube is just clones. It's just clone content of people like, we're not going to get into that, okay? Toe Chinese Boys, I Want It That Way. I don't know if it's actually 2, and that's an error in my notes. It might be 2 Chinese boys. It's definitely intended to be. So I like to think of this one as like the first TikTok, although maybe like Milli Vanilli would have a problem with this characterization. But it's fun. I don't know. It's fun. Like, it's 2 Chinese boys in their room singing the Backstreet Boys. It's 2 Chinese Backstreet Boys, and they're just having a good time, and it's just fun. So for that, I will give it B tier. Ahead of its time. I think it's ahead of its time, and it's also in the exact right place at the right time. Invisible Boards by Skater ACL 2005. This one's interesting. So it's a skateboarding video where they, I guess they spray paint their boards green or something, and they chroma key them out. It's very cool. It's very well edited. It's seamless. It's nice. It seems like something that Captain Dissolution would talk about. So it's cool. I don't know. I like it. I like it. Okay. IOBrush. I/O brush. Uploaded by Larfus, was number 1 for 3 days only. This is when the charts actually existed. It's also when we see corporate produced things be the number 1 spot. This is a commercial. It is an advertisement for a neat little brush that it works very similarly to the way that making a custom brush in like a digital painting program works, but it's a lot cooler. You take the brush, you put it up to a surface, and you snap a picture of it, and then you can paint on like a smartboard with the brush. It's like Kirby or something. It is the Kirby of paintbrushes. And so naturally I love it, okay, as we all should. B tier. The next one is also an advertisement. Ronaldinho Touch of Gold. So this is like, I don't know, he's like tying his shoes or something like that. I don't like this video. I don't find it interesting. Okay, so I thought that this video at first, because it was on the list, right? I thought, oh my God, this is like a career-ending injury. There's like a box that I thought was like first aid kit, and he's tending to his like skater ACL 2005 or something. But no, um, it was a shoe commercial. He's like tying his shoes, I guess. Very, very boring. I'm glad that it is not a career-ending injury, but as a video, it's just not very interesting. To me, to football fans, it might be very interesting. The Chronic of Narnia rap. Okay, so yeah, more kind of corporate influence. However, this is one that was taken down by the corporate influence. It was copyright claimed after becoming the #1. It's just not very good video in my opinion. SNL, I think, is just not very good. This would be one of the most famous SNL sketches if they did not take it down. If it just held the #1 spot, maybe for a long time. Maybe it wouldn't have held it for a long time. I don't know. But it could have had that sort of on it. Yeah, it could have had that. But they copyright claimed it because they wanted to be making the money on it. It's Chris Parnell and Andy Samberg, right? Two people, cool people. Actually, I don't know anything about them as people. They're funny in some things that I'm aware of. I don't understand what's funny about this. It's like the very weird 2Ks, like, what if we rap about like the food at the bodega? No, it's not really cool. There's nothing about that that's funny. I don't understand how that could be funny. Okay, so the next one, again, corporate influence. Jay Leno's phony photo booth. This is like, I'll put it in D tier, I guess. It's just not very interesting. Like, I do like pranks. I think that pranks can be good, but most of these pranks are not interesting. So it's a photo booth, and they watch them with a camera, and they speak through a microphone to say things to mess with the people trying to get their photo taken in the phony photo booth. And they say, like, good evening, miss, or whatever, to a little boy. They tell some lady she's not heavy enough to activate the sensors, and then she's like putting her book bag on. The one that was like kind of funny, it got a singular laugh from me, was they were like, please do not have any water in the photo booth. And so she put the water out of the photo booth, and then it was like, the water is still too close to the photo booth. And then she's like leaning out of the booth to like remove the water bottle from her general vicinity. That is kind of interesting to think about what she would be going through at that moment. Skip to this timestamp if you don't want to hear about blasé jokes about date rape and racism. But these two are disqualified. I'm just going to put them in the disqualified list. I can't like rank these things, right? There's a problem with like ranking a historical list, is I would have to say, well, how many points am I taking off for a white guy saying the N-word? Like, how many points am I taking off for that? That's not my thing. That's not my thing to say. So, okay. MySpace the movie. This one is interesting. There's essentially 3 sketches about MySpace. The first one starts off pretty promising. I really don't like the scene where Yita is plying this man who's crying with liquor to try to get him to have like coerced sex. I don't think that that's funny. I was like, that's just not a funny thing in my opinion. Other elements of this video are charming though. There are other elements. I think inherently by being like a piece of art about social media by like people who are sort of being ushered into the earliest forms of social media and have lived life without it and are making like observations about it, whatever, they're making fun of it. I think that it is inherently interesting in that way. So that's pretty cool. You know, that is a cool aspect of it. It reminds me of like documentaries where they say like surfing the World Wide Web, blah, 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 the internet, like things coming out at the time about new technology are inherently interesting to me. So I like watching this video from that angle. I think that it has something inherently interesting about it. Okay, so 3 sketches. Some of them have a lot of charm. There's like one, the whole thing is very DIY. I respect that. There is, it's kind of weird. Like it feels like a YouTube video in a way that a lot of these don't. I would say this is the most YouTube video so far. It's weird. Now this guy, David Lair, I might be saying it wrong, I'm sorry. I think he was in like Epic Movie. His IMDb lists like Squid Game tangentially. I've never seen Squid Game, I don't know. He has like a series of other videos that are also commenting on technology as it comes out. I honestly think 20 years from now, I would be like, oh, like an old video about TikTok. I do think that I would like reassess it, but right now I'm just like, eh. I don't want to talk about this one very much. It's boring. Smosh made a video where they mouth the words to the Pokemon theme. Then they do the squinty eyes racist thing where they pull the side of their face to make their eyes squint, because Pokemon is a Japanese show. And they took it down and re-uploaded a different version that was 5 years after the original upload date. And initially I was like, oh, maybe they saw the problem with the racism thing and were like, oh, I like the general idea of this video, but let's take out the really, really weird, bad thing that is in it. No, it actually was like, whoever holds the copyright to it, Nintendo or something, made them take it down. Some kind of, for whatever reason, they were able to upload a new version of it. Maybe they updated the rules within those 5 years and you could upload it and not have it taken down, but just not monetize it or something, or you give a portion. I don't know. I don't know the history of YouTube copyright. They were able to make the video, and they kept in the squinty eyes thing. except this time they flip off the camera, which I guess, you know, they're angrily like talking to the CEOs of Nintendo, or whatever Pokemon company. Uh, it's bad. It's just a terrible video. So this next one, it is 2008 at this point. Evolution of Dance by Judson LaPlante, I think. Okay, so Judson LaPlante, S tier. Easy S tier on this one. Because, like, this is the most YouTube video on the list. Like, this is kind of one of the videos people think of when they think of YouTube videos. And it's fantastic. Like, I thought that this was like a talent show or an open mic or something. And I kind of liked that mythology that I had around it. But nonetheless, the reality is also interesting. So I did a little digging, not that it was hard. I did a little digging. Judson is a very what is it? Inspirational comedian, I believe is his title. So now you know that. Let's deal with that information being in your head. I suspect that we would maybe disagree on the kind of bootstraps kind of things. But his speeches, I guess, serve a purpose, and I liked watching his speeches. I thought they were really interesting. That's what this guy actually does, is he gives like motivational seminars with jokes to an audience of, I guess, like LinkedIn people. Don't go watch the original. Watch him do that, like in the later produced ones where there's different camera angles, the lighting is good. It's way better. It hits way better. I recommend looking up his speeches. They're kind of fun. They're kind of interesting. Maybe I don't know what fun is.
Unsuccessful people hope. They hope a lot. They hope for this. They hope for that. Successful people decide.
Take that, Obama. Bush was the decider. Okay, Bush was the decider.
I'm the decider.
Obama, hope guy. He was the hope guy.
Judson Lapley's presentations are styled to meet the needs of your audience. Whether a 30-minute get them pumped up or a 60-minute get them reflecting to a halftime show for an NBA team, Judson.
I'd like to point out that this buffering is in the video itself. It's screen recorded into the video.
What can I do to really drive home the idea that life has changed? And one of my friends goes, hey, what's that quote that you use all the time? Because I have a quote that I like a lot, and it simply is this. Life isn't always a party we'd hoped for, but while we're here, we might as well dance. And basically what it means, what we all already know, life isn't going to be perfect, but that doesn't mean you can't, metaphorically speaking, choose to dance every single day.
I can't even say this. Music is my hot sex. Music is my hot sex. By Cansei Desser Sexy. Tired of Being Sexy, which is based on a thing that Beyonce said. They took that from Beyonce quote, put that in Portuguese. The video's fun. The band is fun. They're just like a weird little indie band. I don't know. B tier. I'll do B tier. Evolution of Dance again. Okay, that overtakes Music is My Hot Sex. Girlfriend by Avril Lavigne. I do like that song. The music video, I guess, doesn't stick in my head too well. They drive go-karts, I think. I mean, is it Avril's best work? It's complicated. Evolution of Dance again. Then that was overtaken by Charlie Bit My Finger. Okay, so Charlie Bit My Finger is the harbinger of like kids on YouTube or something. You know, this is 2009. I think the year that they rolled out like making money on YouTube or like ads on YouTube or something. So this is like different era at this point. They sold the video as an NFT for $760. That doesn't seem right. Okay, that makes more sense. That was supposed to be $760,000. How does that make more sense? Like, really? This is really the way that the economy is. That I would say, oh, of course, claiming ownership of a re-upload of Charlie Bit My Finger wouldn't only cost $760. That has to be an error. It would cost $760,000. Okay. You know what? Just for that, I'm moving it down one. We're reaching the point in the list where they are, I think, all songs from this point forward. Bad Romance by Lady Gaga. No, not F tier. Certainly not. That's A tier. I'm trying to keep the S tier to a 1, right? It's a great song. It's a great music video. I was like wondering if I was harsh to Avril Lavigne before by putting her C tier. But like when I think of how much better Bad Romance is as a song and as a video, yeah. These don't naturally go together. You can't really rank any of these because they're good in different ways. So like honestly, you just can't rank these, but it's a framing device. I don't know. Also, I just have to say, you know, she looks like Edna Mode from The Incredibles.
Mongo Goblogian, the art collector.
Baby by Justin Bieber. Good. Drake is in the background of this video, which is weird. Psy, Gangnam Style. So, Gangnam Style is a music video about giving false kind of expectations, I guess through maybe social media. The videos are cropped just so that you can't see how terrible it looks. You crop the video out a little bit and reveal the truth. Yeah. And of course, it's associated with the iconic dance. Ellen DeGeneres and, you know, all of these kinds of people were doing the dance on daytime TV, and it just made it seem stupid. But, I mean, learning a little bit about Psy, I was like, oh, this guy's really cool. You know, he faced a lot of backlash for being kind of crass, you know, I guess vulgar, like he didn't fit the mold, you know, and his parents wanted him to join the family business, and he did not, you know, he wanted to be an artist. And I think that's pretty cool. I think everything about him is pretty cool. He has a song called like Damn Yankees or something. I think he's cool. I think he's a cool guy. And I know I said I wasn't going to put 2 S tier, but like you can't compare Evolution of Dance to Gangnam Style, so it's also S tier. Like, because it's S tier in a different way. To go from like being ostracized for being a kind of weirdo with your own weird artistic vision in a genre of music, right? Pop music, where they're trying to kind of grind you into like a predetermined mold of something that's designed to work. And no, Psy was not having any of that. Psy was just like doing his thing, and now they build statues to him, and I love that. See You Again by Wiz Khalifa. You know, I like Wiz Khalifa. I don't really care about Fast and the Furious, which I guess this was in Fast and the Furious 7. But like, Rolling Papers is a good album. Mac and Devin Go to High School is an awesome movie with his uncle Snoop Dogg. But See You Again, I don't like this song, and it's F tier, and it's an F tier. It's an F tier song. It's also just not a YouTube video. Like, music videos, they're not YouTube videos. Like, they are, but they're not, okay? So it is kind of disappointing that this list devolves into music videos at some point. Next is Despacito by Luis Fonsi. And yeah, I don't really have a lot to say about it, just that it's a great video. It's a great song. The lighting and everything, the dances, it feels very lively. Okay, this is where I see if we have any eagle-eyed viewers in the audience tonight. Did you notice that I'm wearing a certain shirt? Okay, so the current reigning #1 most viewed YouTube video at, what is it, 7 billion? No, that can't be right. Oh, that's views at achievement. 14 billion. 14 billion. Baby Shark. Baby Shark is great, okay? It spawned a lot of great parodies. My favorite by far being Baby Shark, but it's emo or whatever. Just phenomenal. Like, I get it, you know, oh, Baby Shark, but it's death metal. Oh, it's you know, Death Metal Barney or something. Winnie the Pooh kills you. Oh, Squidward, Sonic. No, it's not like that. He adds a verse and it just cracks me up every time. It's so great. Anyway, Baby Shark is barely scraping educational. You could say that it's educational. You could say, well, it teaches mommy shark, daddy shark, grandpa shark. It's not a real, it's not a real, I mean, that is a real thing. Sharks reproduce. But like, it's not anything, you know, and that's why I can't give it S tier, even though it is just fun. It's just a fun video. But to me, it does represent like ushering in the era of just soulless children's content. That's not the same as like whatever, you know, Jim, like think of Jim Henson or Mr. Rogers. I think of their attitude towards like making children's educational content. Like where, you know, they would like, I don't know, they would do critical race theory, you know, and they would teach kids like things that their parents didn't even know, you know, things that shouldn't even have to be taught, but the world is really messed up. So like, I don't know, famously like Mr. Rogers risked his deals with a bunch of TV stations and blah 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 because he like went swimming with a black guy or something. Or they like literally they both dipped their feet in the pool. I know that sounds like, it sounds very ridiculous to even talk about now, but like at the time this very much upset people. And hey, honestly, like the quartering, these people, I have news for you, honestly. That's your legacy. Your legacy is to be mad at Mr. Rogers swimming with a black guy. Like the, you know, woke Marvel coming to get us. I mean, I don't really like Marvel movies, but like you don't want to be the one complaining like, oh, there's too many minorities in this you know, in this movie. What the hell's my point? Baby Shark doesn't do any of these things. Baby Shark doesn't push the boundaries of art, okay? They also like don't pay residuals. They made like 10 grand a day for a really long time. Did not pay residuals to these children. I don't know how much they got paid in their lump sum at the beginning, because just wasn't able to find that information in interviews and stuff. They say, oh, we don't get paid residuals. I can't imagine they got paid very much, though. I can't imagine they got paid very much at all. So that's all. If you liked this video, please subscribe, and why not check out my last video is about Fruitiger Arrow. Different kind of internet nostalgia, but I mean, it feels like there's crossover appeal, and also it's much shorter and much better than this video, so you should watch it. It's the end, do 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 do. It's the end, do 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 do. The end, do 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 do. It's the end.